Good morning, it's Happy Bamboo Day because I'm going to show you how I've been growing my bamboo orchid and how things went. So it's raining outside and it's a beautiful day to do it, and we need the rain still, so we're happy about that. How are you guys doing where you are? I know the weather's always strange. So anyway, this bamboo plant I've had for 5 years. I'm going to put a link to the video where I'm talking about the garage sale I found it at. And at that garage sale, this bamboo was smaller then, and it came in a little pot. And this necklace that I love, it's one of the ones I wear most often. On the back it says, "Live, Love, Life." Now it was on a stretchy elastic thing that over the years it had been wrapped around this bamboo plant, and it was no good. So I had a silver necklace and I put all these on because it was totally black, and when I cleaned it, it said belly silver, and it's just beautiful. I love it because it has the tree of life on the front and live, love, and life on the back. I love it, and it came, I didn't know it was there on the back of this orchid. So we didn't buy anything at that garage sale, and we were leaving, and she says, "Oh, all the plants on the patio are free." So I saw this one and picked it up. Well, Jack had noticed something hanging from it, but I didn't, and he said free, and we said, yeah, everything. I should have grabbed more plants. I wasn't thinking, but I did like the bamboo, and I've never had one. And I'll just take some things I got in here off. And I did lots of research and seeing where people were growing them in dirt and growing them in water. And some people say, well, I've never used tap water and don't do this and don't do that. So I'm sharing with you that this has been alive for 5 years. It's done well. And I seldom go in here. Like once every 6 months would be often. I don't even know when I went in last. I'm not a very good date keeper. So let's take it out of the big pot. It is in a heavy pot. I'm going to have fun doing this. You know, maybe I'll put it in the sink where I can get a better grip so I don't break anything. There, that'll be easier. So then I'm just going to grab it. There. Now, this is the lid to this pot. Why it's in there. So the water has all evaporated, but on real dry days and in the winter in the house, this pot, I keep water in it. Even though there's water all around the bamboo, I try to keep it full. Watering days, orchid watering days, and if you want my schedule, I'll leave it. And sometimes I don't get to getting it back to you as quick as I can, but I will send you my water schedule if you ask for it. So you can email me at carolynorchidfriends@gmail.com. I'll write it down below. Or you can just ask me in the messages. So whatever works for you. So it does get neglected. It gets whatever, Wednesdays I water my orchids, it gets whatever is left over after I'm finished in the sink. So anyway, this is dry right now, better for lifting. So I'll just put it over here. Oh yeah, we went down to the thrift store, and I lately haven't seen many orchid pots, but I've been into blue lately, and guess what? A nice little blue orchid pot that's never been used, and it was $1. So how good is that? Quite often outside, they have a part outside where you can go look at all the flower pots, And sometimes they have flower pots inside. And I'm always there, and one of the fellows named Darren, and I say, I'm looking for orchid pots, but he didn't know what they are. And I says, well, they got holes all in them. And outside, usually, at $1 or $2 for things that are been dirty, hanging around or whatever. So they're pretty good. They like to keep stuff moving along. So I was very happy to get this. Not sure what's going to go into it. So I'll put that over there. Now, so yes, I grow them in water, and every once in a while I take it apart, because what happens is, you have to go and clean up a lot of stuff that's gone brown, and I'll take it out and I'll show you. I just use tap water. Ours is the treated tap water in Salmon Arm. That's all I use. And let's have a look. Let's clean it up. Let's get it in some new water, and I'll show you how it's growing. And if you watch the other video, you'll see how it came. So it's pretty tight in here. And it's actually, I'm going to bring it over, but I can probably do it. Hold on. You just need a little pot. We'll go into the cupboard and we'll get a little pot. Now, since the last time I have cleaned this, it has grown new roots all around. In fact, the rocks are encased. Some of the little rocks are encased inside here. Yeah, there they are. They're falling out. So, what I want to do now is pull all this dry stuff off while our rocks are soaking. So I'm going to be pulling this one out. We're just going to put it in the sink here for a minute. There. And then I have a second one that I have in a bigger pot. And what I'm going to do is, it's been growing so much, I think what I'm going to do is take this one out without breaking anything. And it's in a bigger pot. So this one I bought about 2 years ago, and it's been slowly coming to its own, but it was diseased. I got it for next to nothing at the grocery store at the top of the hill. It was diseased and it wasn't doing well at all. So I've been babying it, but now I'm quite happy with it. I'm growing it the same way. I'll take it out. Now it's been in a bigger pot. It's also been growing leaves around the rocks. And there's always some you want to take out. So I'm going to show you that. We'll take that out of there. And I'll just put him there for a minute. And we'll push that out the way. Take this one and put it here. Just get a little organized. There. Being organized. There, I just want the water to run off those rocks. There we go. And not on the counter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take these rocks. Now there is some bark, and oh, very important. In my water that I'm putting the beads and the bamboo into, I use some Dutch treat charcoal, because it sweetens the water and it stops it from ever getting smelly. And it never has got smelly, so it's well worth it to throw a little Dutch treat charcoal into the water. Okay, we got the rocks from this one. And some debris. I do have some spare rocks. I did have another pot, but I think it wasn't that one, you know. I think I'm going to put the other one in this one, because even this one, it's, let's cut that out. The hole is quite small, and this is for burning, I guess, something on your table, or I don't know, I found it somewhere. It's a little old, but we're going to put it over there. I think I set this aside, and then I think the big one will go in this one, and the smaller one in this one, and give them some room to grow. So we made that decision. And this water is dirty. Yeah. So I always clean it good. So in here too, you will see I've got Dutch tree charcoal. I could probably add a little more, but I didn't bring any in. So we'll just leave that in there. We'll put it there. I can always add it next time because I'll remember, so, you know. I have never fussed. Now, if you're fooling around with these, I use these little glass rocks because they're cheap. You can get them at the dollar store, and they're easy to clean, and that's a good thing. So what I do is you can use straight white vinegar. I get this Ellen's cleaning vinegar, and if you just spray them real good with the vinegar, it will soak into them. And then I can just rinse it really good, and it'll be ready to use. So, now, we have to take all this dry stuff off, which I'll do. But they're growing really nice. And if you see any that have died off, you know, not done well, some of them look like they're dying off, but they keep growing. But you'll know if it's no good. Then what I've done is I've undone, it's tied with kind of a wire ribbon. So what I did is, if there's any bad ones, I undo the wire. I don't see any. Some of them are actually, I'm going to show you a close-up. Okay. So this is the wire that's wrapped around. And even though some of them are been there and they're growing new shoots, like here's a shoot on one and now it's growing a new one. And here, this one struggled, but then it grew a shoot. So I'll show you if I find one that isn't good. Now, there's a slight smell, but honestly, I think the Dutch charcoal, which sweetens it and stops it from not smelling, you know, from smelling not good, that's the answer. Because I use that in anything where I have standing water. It evaporates pretty fast around here, but so all those little dry leaves, they can come off. And that's when you look for things that are not doing good. You can even see in here where the roots have been growing out bigger than they were. You can even see the Dutch charcoal in there. So I pretty well got this. Make sure you have the little plugs in your sink. You don't want rocks down your sink. We'll just rinse it nicely. There we go. They treat all our water here in Salmon Arm, and then it just goes back into the lake. Now here's a black one. I found one I can show you. Because this one, and I can show you that it will not grow anymore. So we're going to pull that out of there. Okay. Sometimes, almost every time that I've done this, and probably, like it's been maybe once every 6 months, if I'm lucky, but I'm going to show you this rotten one. If you see one that looks like this and didn't make it, then just, I've never bought one and added more to this plant. It's what came on it. So, what I do is when I miss my orchids in the morning, I always miss my house plants because our air is dry, especially in the winter with the furnace on, but then in the summer you got the dry too, you know, the same old story. So I'm going to just clean this pot just a little bit because there is a dirty water line on it. So I'll use a little soap. And I put my scrubby thing. We'll give it a good clean before we put the other one in. So when I do it, I try to get it nice and clean. And then I'll just, whoops, dump some of that soapy water there. Now that's looking up. This is a pot that I've had for years, actually from a garage sale. We are always look for bargains in this house. We grew up that way. We weren't wealthy. I wouldn't even ask for 2 cents for a bubble gum when I was a kid. We never had a lot of money. My dad worked in a mill, and then he went to the war, and then he come home and worked in the mill, and Mom was home except for maybe a couple years, so we weren't wealthy, and we learned to shop then in New Westminster. There was Army and Navy. You learn to shop. You learn to be smart with your money and not waste it. So I think it's a habit that you just get used to. Then, because I sprayed these rocks, this is real good. I have not found them hard to look after. And I read, don't fertilize them, don't put them in dirt, don't. But for me, this is why I'm sharing this. And I did bring in some spare rocks. If I'm at a garage sale, there's always bags of rocks somewhere. And you can spread them on your rocks in the yard. You can do all kinds of things with them. So, it's kind of like our orchid. We're going to see. Now, I like the water to sit quite high where the roots are here. Probably maybe a ½ inch. So if I figure it's going to sit like this, then I can put some rocks in the bottom. I think it'll be happier in this bigger pot. And that's still a little low. Something fell off. Let's see. Tiny bit more. There. Yeah, because I'm always filling it up, and I think that I like that. So then what I do is I put more rocks around. I try and center it. Now some leaves are a bit yellow, some might have a yellow tip, but I just leave it, it's fine. You don't want to be too fussy. Oh, I'm reading this book. It's on tuning forks, if you know what tuning forks are. I could tell you more another time, but they're used to send vibration sounds through your body. So I'm reading how to use them because I got 3 tuning forks. One's 128 hertz and then there's 2 others. Jack ordered them for me. So anyway, I'm reading this really good book on them. I'll run and get it, I'll show you. there it is. Tuning the Human Biofield. Healing with Vibration and Sound Therapy by Eileen Day. So she gets, while I do this, I'll tell you, she talks about her life and how she got into this, and she was anemic, she had all this stuff, I won't go into it, but she had a very tough life, and she just explaining how she ended up coming to do this is a very interesting story. I have to add a few more rocks here. That'll just hold it straight. And anyway, in the book, because I'm just a little ways in, but they did an experiment with plants. And they did an experiment where they put, and one of them, the one plant was a bamboo plant. And they did an experiment, they wire them up, and they get, everybody has a therapy. They were trying to decide if, like, people and animals can communicate, like we can communicate with Maggie, and dogs sense when we don't feel good, probably your cat senses when you don't feel good. And they always thought that plants never had a consciousness. But now they're starting to second guess that because they've been doing these tests. And they react also to, they love music. They definitely love us. They feel how we feel. So, you know, don't pick a day when you're ready to kill somebody and work on your plants. You know, they feel love and they feel empathy, and very interesting, and there's a little story about that in that book. So when you're reading a book, sometimes there's a lot of really heavy stuff. A lot of tests were done. But I thought I'd try this, seeing I've lost my weight and pretty well had it off a year now, so I'm trying to still get my blood pressure down. So I'm really working on myself because I want to be here a while, and I have Mom to look after, and I just love life. So why not try and keep yourself here as long as you can. Okay, I've got this full, and now what we want to do, give it some water. Now this I got outside at the garage sale, the thrift store, because it's chipped. It's always been kind of chipped on the end. But I thought it's so perfect for watering orchids when they're you know, you're trying to just hit them and not everything else. And just the shape of it, it's easy for pouring water, so we'll pour some water. And I fill this up very high. Now, it's going to go back in the pot because even though this has water in it, sometimes I spill or whatever, and because it grew so big, I ended up putting it in, oh, there's what I'm looking for. I ended up putting it in a bigger pot and sitting it over by my orchids. So we'll just wipe that. And it's going to be heavy, so I won't add any more water till it's ready to go in its spot. Don't drop it and break the pot. Oh, there we go. So we did that. Now this one, like I said, it was very sickly when I got it. And yeah, there's some we're going to take out of this one, and I'm going to come and show you. I've been babying it, and it's getting better. And like I say, you can always add to it. Like this was a sickly one, and I haven't added to it because I think it's coming on its own. But I'm going to show you the difference between one that's got to come out. You see these ones here? When you squeeze them, they're not firm like these. This one is, but it's not at the top. So this one and this one, I'm taking out. It was sickly when I got it. And this one. If you squeeze it and it oozes water, there's one that's been in here for quite a while. You can tell. When I said I haven't been in to do them, I haven't. So, oh, we got a few. So you know what? We're going to undo this wire a bit. I think that this was probably the wire that was on them. And I'm going to rinse them real good. There's another one in there that it's not the best. I'm going to take it out. So I got about 5. The rest are looking really good. So when we get them out there, and you know that charcoal still in the roots here, but it stopped the water from getting smelly because I would have noticed it. Okay, there, now we got it. So it'll be happier. So what I'm going to do is put this back on. Turn that off. And I did bring some pliers. So okay, so I've just unhooked it, and I'm gonna, it's got new sprouts coming, and I'm just gonna twist that wire back on there, nice and firm. And this one too. I think I can just put it on from the bottom. It was very sickly. I can't remember if I had done a video on it when I first got it, but it was diseased with bugs. I had to spray it and everything, but it was next to nothing, and I thought, oh, I liked it. You know, I've had it sitting. They don't need a lot of light. This one's getting reflected light from that window, and this one's been sitting in the living room. Actually, I can put them all back, and at the end of all this, I'll do a quick tour with the orchids. So, I think we're smart to miss those few that fell. I'm going to show you what I got. Got quite a mess here off of that one. But it's growing good now. There. I'm going to show you. There we go. We've taken all that off. Plant will be very happy. And you know, if you want an easy care plant that also is good, because the more house plants around your orchids, the more they're helping each other stay humid. They're in their own little lifestyle. So I better put this. This has got a lot of the charcoal in it, so we're going to make sure we don't waste it. There. And we'll see how that, oh, that'll be the perfect pot for this one. I should put in a few more rocks. There. My charcoal's out in the greenhouse, so I think I'll just half fill this, enough to hold it. Then what I'll do before I add more rocks, I'll put it back where it goes, and then you guys can see how it looks. And I will put some charcoal in before I add the rest of the rocks. But I'll show you, it usually sits in this. I'm not sure if you can see. Okay. Usually sits in this. Maybe I'll leave it here till I finish it, and then we'll take you on an orchid tour. So it will sit in this. And then I can put water around it if I even want more humidity as it evaporates and rises up around the plant. So it'll be in here. And it's slowly growing. And one day it'll be big like that one. So it gets a special little place. Yeah, it's going to make it. So let me put this one back. And I'll grab the camera. And we'll take you for a little tour of what's going on. There you go. Okay. It's always fun playing with your plants on a rainy day. So, there it is on my little elephant. So this one is actually getting a lot of light, but I've never had it in full light. It's always got, and this is the north, so it's quite happy. We'll put this the full side that isn't as full forward. Okay, and in here we have nice fruits coming in here, and things are doing good in there. I have my light on. I don't know if you can see it changes color. It's real pretty at night. So here we have spike coming, 2 spikes coming. This is one that that spike's ready to be trimmed back. And over here, I missed it this morning. I missed it quite close to these pots because I know they're dry, so I missed heavy there and heavy here. They're small pots. So there's some nice little roots coming. And we have a new spike. And this one wasn't spiking, and I've had it for a couple weeks here at the window because this is the north. It gets cool at night, and I noticed, if I can get it, I noticed a spike coming. So I'm very happy. I can tie it to the top of this. I'm looking forward to that. So in this plant, it wasn't getting very much light, and it wasn't changing color, but now it's getting light and it's changing color, so it seems to be happy there. All my house plants get my orchid watering water. So, okay, to look at the other ones. Cactus. Didn't water this because I'm letting it dry real good. Maybe Wednesday. I don't know how long I should leave it dry, but I might just leave it in one more week and then water it. I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm trying to see if I'll get some blooms because it's healthy. So this one is still flowering nicely. And I think we are getting a spike here. This one hadn't spiked, that's why I moved it up near the window. And these are getting quite big. They're coming along nicely. Maybe have flowers for Mom's birthday, December 6th. So here we have this one. More here. I haven't put these on yet. So all I do is this switch. I hit that switch, and on everything comes. Makes it easy. Same at night, I go around and I switch them off. So we have quite a few spikes coming here. Oh boy, leaving the second spike on my traffic cones. The last year's spike is, I thought I wouldn't get as many flowers, but I think they're both doing really well. They look happy. So then we'll go over here. Now, my catasetum, starting to get ready for fall. It lost 2 leaves. It has some yellow. I may not get a flower. I don't see anything. But I have heard sometimes it'll flower on the new spike it gets next year, and I'll have to maybe give it more sun or see why I didn't get one. So here, this is one of the twins from the red pot, and it's got the old spike coming and the new one, and the plastic bottle one, experiment. And this is the old spike, and this is the other one of the twins from the red pot. It's getting ready to flower. And something I don't know, I have to ask you guys. But over here we have a spike coming. These are still doing good. I make sure I miss them. Now here, at the Maltasia, what is that? See that? Is that a flower or a root? I don't know. I've never had a Maltasia before this one. I kept my little weight in the pot, and I'm hoping it's something. I don't know. So, and of course here is my Peloric one I got in bark, and it has a spike coming. I'm happy about that because it had 2 spikes and it was flowering till way late in the summer. Very happy. So I have the misters going and the other house plants. My money plant, it looks pretty sad. I'm just letting it look sad. It's got babies coming up, so maybe in time it'll look more impressive. I don't know. I'm leaving it. We'll just go look out the window. Maggie's sleeping. And Maggie, night-night. Yeah. There we are. So we have a cloudy day. You can see some snow up on the top of the hills. We haven't had any snow down below here yet. So, and it's raining. It's been raining off and on. So thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. Love you all. Bye.